morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here on this short video to tell you a little about the history of the amazing SPAR brand in the United Kingdom. SPAR has been operating in the UK for nearly 50 years, and from a little sapling, a mighty tree has grown over the last half-century. Britain spent the early 1950s recovering from the debilitating effects of the Second World War, but by the middle of the decade, confidence was returning and the economy was growing. The common market was established with the Treaty of Rome, and a young upstart from Tupelo in the United States of America, called Mr. E. Presley, burst onto the popular music scene to herald a huge change in culture. At the same time, 5 wholesalers applied to SPAR International in Amsterdam for the franchise to run SPAR in the UK. And on the 25th of September 1957, SPAR was launched in Portsmouth by H. Reeves & Company Limited with support from a central office and its entire staff of 2 people. 70 retailers formed the first guild and put an illuminated sign in their windows, the first to do so under a common symbol rather than their own names. They paid into a common advertising fund, pledged maximum trade to their wholesaler and accepted a weekly delivery. 6 months later, the second SPAR Guild was formed, and by the end of the decade, 17 guilds were operating. National advertising got underway, and SPAR-branded products were on sale. The swinging 60s breezed in and changed everything. It was the era of Kennedy, the Beatles, the miniskirt, and England winning the World Cup. It was also a time of great growth for the sapling SPAR. The 5 founder wholesalers developed the SPAR franchise in the UK, and other wholesalers joined the group. By 1967, there were 31 SPAR wholesalers in partnership with retailers. In 1966, another voluntary group called Vivo joined forces with SPAR, and for 9 years the 2 groups were to trade autonomously while sharing common services. Later they merged, with Vivo becoming part of SPAR. And so a new decade dawned. A decade of glam rock, punk rock, and disco dance music. Groovy baby. The 1970s saw many independents in decline in the UK as the multiples began their rapid expansion. Price battles continued in the high street, putting pressure on margins. At one stage, the largest delivered wholesaler of the time recorded a profit of just £100,000 on sales of £259 million. By the end of the 1970s, SPAR knew it had to find a different trading platform if many of its retail members were to avoid going the way of other independents. And that is precisely what it did in the 1980s. Totally awesome. It was the age of Thatcherism, and her father was a grocer too. It was a decade that was to see Britain at war with Argentina in the Falklands, and the wedding of Charles and Diana. They were challenging times, and SPAR responded to its own challenges by launching a 3-pronged initiative. The first of these was the introduction of the 8 till late concept of convenience trading, while the second involved placing greater emphasis on different commodity groups, such as off-license, cigarettes, confectionery, crisps and snacks, and soft drinks. The third was the evolution of group buying schemes under the name of Tri-SPAR. SPAR began to flourish and became undisputed leader of the convenience sector, with both retailers and wholesalers experiencing huge growth in sales and profits, which allowed stores to be upgraded and the development of modern retailing technology. And so into the 90s. Yeah, it's cool. It was an era of girl power with the dawning of the Spice Girls. Nelson Mandela was released from prison. Bill Clinton came to power in America, and Tony Blair ended 18 years of conservative rule. For SPAR, the 1990s was a decade of yet more remarkable growth, with the company hitting a turnover of £1 billion by 1991. By now, the business was served by 6 wholesalers, and stores benefited from the strength of belonging to a well-known brand, receiving support with business development from regional wholesalers like Appleby Westward and SPAR Central Office. And so, with the dawn of the 21st century and the new millennium, SPAR finds itself firmly established as the UK's largest convenience store group, with annual retail sales approaching £2.4 billion. Sales are running at record levels, up 16% year on year. There are 2,700 stores in the UK, and it's the country's biggest off-licence and newsagent. It's estimated that 96% of people in the UK live within 3/4 of a mile of a SPAR store. Some 12 million transactions are handled in SPAR's UK stores every week. On a global scale, SPAR is the biggest and most international retail food chain, with 16,000 stores in 30 countries. The SPAR Millennium Store programme has already modernised over 1,400 stores, and is seeing individual turnovers increase from 10% to 70% as a result. SPAR has been voted Symbol Group of the Year for the last 2 years. SPAR is leading the way. It has come a long way in the UK over the last 50 years, and it aims to stay out in front over the next half a century, providing the most comprehensive solution for independent retailers. Thank you for viewing this SPAR information film.